How did you and Jamie get paired up?
Man, so we were wrestling again. I met him on the independent scene, and we were wrestling against each other. They paired us up against each other quite a bit. I was Airwolf then, and he was just Jamie Dundee, and and then I started doing the Wolfie D gimmick with the shorts and everything. They weren't painted up, didn't have the graffiti on them, but I had the black shorts and sort of doing it, and Chris Champion was one of my mentors and friends with Jamie, and we all hung out. And so he said, man, he said, y'all ought to do this as a tag team. And so we were like, all right, yeah, let's try it. And so on the little Tennessee Outlaw loop, we got together, and he got some shorts and all that mess, and I come up with the name PG-13. JC Ice. I mean, he come up with JC Ice, but JC Ice and Sir Wolfie D, uh, PG-13, and then we just started adding stuff to it, and yeah, that's how we got together.
How did you guys come up with the raps?
That was me. Jamie will tell you that, man. He. So I mean, originally I'd never thought of. So even though, like at the beginning, right, we used to carry this album, an LP with us, okay, and it was a Peter Criss from Kiss. It was his first solo album. Nobody bought it, so I knew no one would know the cover. You see what I'm saying? So we were like, "This is our LP, this is our album, man, and it's got a gold record inside of it." So we used that. That was the first evolution of the hubcap, but we would hit people with that, thinking that it's got a metal record inside of it. Uh, Chris Champion was the booker on this stuff, like I said, and he's like, find something else. And so there was a town, Shelbyville, Tennessee. The back of there, I've told this story a bazillion times, but the back dressing room and everything was like a junkyard, man. They had all kinds of stuff back there. And so we're looking for something, a chain. No, no, no. There's everything. Then all of a sudden we seen this hubcap, and we tied his rope around it. And this was, Flavor Flav was wearing the clock, right? So we
Hmm.
get the hubcap. We found a can of spray paint back there. We put PG 13 on the hubcap, wore it to the ring, used it for the finish, and that created the hubcap. And that kind of, started changing stuff. And I didn't mean to get off, but okay. So, like I said, the record, yeah, we were saying we had a hit record, but we didn't rap. So Jeff Jarrett was on a show in Kentucky, Beaver Dam, Kentucky. This was like 92, the end of 92. Me and Jamie are having a match. Jamie knows Jeff, obviously, from their fathers and history. And Jamie had a big VCR gimmick, one of the ones that recorded, right? And he says to Jeff, hey, Jeff, will you record our match and take it to your dad? And we were working like Brickhouse Brown and Pez Whatley, so it was going to be a good match. And me and Jamie had got our stuff down. We'd worked together enough at that point where we had a good thing going there.
Chemistry.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Jamie had crazy good chemistry. I mean, especially later, But I mean, man, it was unreal. But anyway, uh, so the long story is it gets to Jerry Jarrett, right? And so it was Jerry Jarrett that says, he goes, all right, I want to do, because now we got the shit. Excuse me, I don't know if I can cuss on your show. We've got our stuff all painted up now. Now it's graffitied, and it's a little more colorful and yada yada. And so Jerry Jarrett's like, uh, can you guys write a rap? Because in Memphis that was a thing, man. Before somebody showed up, they'd play those music videos for a few weeks to build them
Hmm.
up, right?
Hmm.
So that was his idea. He's like, I want to play 4 weeks worth of videos before I ever put you on TV. So he's like, I need you to write me a rap. And so the first one was to Hip Hop Hooray. It was to the instrumental to that, and Jerry told me kind of what he wanted me to say and everything, and I wrote that. Me and Jamie would rehearse it in the car, and then we go to back to Jarrett's house, and we record these videos, um, two different ones, but they played one for 2 weeks and then the next one for 2 weeks, and then we finally debuted. But that's how that came about. It just so happened, man, like in high school I loved rap. I don't anymore, but like in high school I did. And so I had a little experience trying to write my own raps in high school, so that's how I mean, Jamie couldn't have done it, and he knows that, and I'm not knocking him. We're lucky that I had that on my side, and I was good enough to be able to. I don't consider myself a rapper. I consider myself a wrestler that can do a little rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Well, growing up with wrestling and music and comic books, I mean,
Yeah.
surely there's creativity.
Yeah, yeah, and I can draw, and I'm artsy, and so yeah, I figured it out and did a little something with it. The same with the Nation of Domination rap. Cornette said, "Hey, this is what I need you to write," and so I come up with that, and yeah, so
Over the years, you guys got to work so many people during your
yeah.
time in Memphis. Who have
Yeah.
been some of your favorite opponents that you got to
Well,
wrestle against?
obviously, Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert. We had a great feud with them that involved, heck, Tommy's mom and my stepdad. And I mean, just, oh, we shaved our heads. We did so much crap in that angle, man. That was awesome. And that really got us over, as far as baby faces. Also, the Eliminators, because this was before they went to ECW. They were the tag team champions of Memphis, and that was the first time that we, came back. We had been in Mexico, and we came back and we beat them, and that was a good deal. Obviously, the Eliminators went on to do big things. The Rock and Roll Express, I mean, for sure, because it was kind of like they passed the torch to us for the Memphis deal. Not to say that Tommy and Doug didn't really get us over, but the Rock and Roll Express match in Louisville on the night to remember, it was billed as the team of the 80s versus the team of the 90s, and for them to put us over on that big of a stage, it was, it really did us justice. I'm forever grateful to both of Ricky and Robert for that. But yeah, man, there's been a bunch, some I can't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, got to work so many different teams, and
Heavenly
as you mentioned,
Bodies, Heavenly Bodies. Man, God, I mean, there was so many that went through that it's just hard to remember everybody.
yeah.